Right, welcome to the Parry Show.
Hi.
Today's guest, Matt Crockett.
Hello everyone.
Nice to have you on, Matt. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Matt. I have a small independent kitchen retailer in Corby, Northamptonshire. I've been doing that for around about the last year now, so it's been a steep learning curve for me. It's been great.
Fantastic. And you enjoying it? Is it going well?
Absolutely, yeah. It's completely different to what I expected. I spent a couple of years planning for this, and I sort of had something in a vision in my mind what it would be like. But yeah, it's different, but it's great.
Good. And before this, you worked for British Gas, I believe?
I did, yeah. I did.
How was that?
It's totally different, obviously. Massive company, upwards of 15,000 employees, not mine, but, across the business. Totally different. I was in sort of performance coaching roles and management roles. So I've obviously got some experience, which has helped me with this job. Yeah. But it's very different.
So you're managing teams? What
so I managed a team of 25 engineers. Right. Who would go out and maintain and fix boilers, basically, and heating systems. So some transferable skills, but not completely what we're doing now at all.
No, that's true. So when you're managing them 25 different personalities, what are the kind of challenges that you faced, and what lessons have you learned from them that you can bring into your business that you use now?
I mean, I think you kind of hit that on the head straight away with the fact that it is a challenge to manage 25 different people. Not one person's the same, are they?
No.
I guess the biggest thing that I learned about that, and what I use across all my life really, is being adaptable to the people that you're talking to, changing the style of management, the style that you're talking to, and communicating to people in, really. It's you can't treat people the same. Everyone's different.
Yeah, that's a good point to take away. So in your new business now, again, you're managing a team.
Yeah.
And with that team, is it a different dynamic? Is it a different feeling, different atmosphere, or is it?
It's much smaller. Okay, so there's not the scale that we had before, and it is a different dynamic because it's a group of people that are working closely together that don't have that massive employer behind them. The buy-in from the people is much easier to get. Right. They're much more invested in how the business runs and how it works out.
Yeah, and that's an important aspect for you, especially when you're growing a business and trying to get clientele on board. You need everybody to be pulling the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
No disillusioned employees, which we both know you get them in the bigger organisations. People feel a little left out, a little disillusioned, can have a negative effect.
Yeah.
So, what are the major challenges that you faced? Do you think starting your business?
Yeah, so it's still fresh for me, right? It's less than a year into it still. I guess for me, some of the stuff that I found difficult, and coming from the background of British Gas, I knew a little bit about employment law, had an understanding of that, and we had a big HR department behind us, so if you ever needed advice, it was a phone call away. It was really easy to do. Whereas now, it's all on my head. I'm responsible for all that stuff. But coming into it, stuff like the laws that govern small businesses, being aware of that, taxation systems that I knew nothing about, a year ago, suddenly massive in my mind, and I'm constantly thinking about it. So yeah, that's been a steep learning curve.
Yeah, so personally, that's what I found with the business. You have to learn a whole host of new skills. It's not just the one particular thing that you're going into. You have to know about everything that ties into that business, the accounting side of it and everything. And it can be a big challenge. It's a bit of a shock at the start.
It is. And getting the right accountant's a good thing. I don't know how you found it, but getting someone that's there that can support you and give you advice and is happy to talk to you about it, even, because I spoke to my accountant for an hour on end, and they were really great to speak to me, so that's been a real help.
Yeah. So, touching on that then, so getting the right people around you, what's your view on people? It's quite big nowadays, is the mentor, having somebody to help you, guide you. So do you have people that you can lean on to help you with that? Do you have influences, people you look up to and think, yes, this is the kind of model that I'm following as a business owner? Yeah,
so I like to speak to other business owners locally, particularly those successful ones, understand what's made them get where they are now. I was also using a chap in London who gave me a lot of advice on how to run a business. It was a support service that you can buy into, basically, and that was really good. We had a few sessions, about 6 sessions, hour-long sessions, where we were just giving advice, and we were just chatting back and forth, opening mind up to different possibilities and the way we can do different, the way you can do different things with your business. Yeah, that was really good.
So, invaluably, you'd recommend that to anybody?
Totally. Yeah. Anybody who's starting a business, who's thinking about starting a business, the first thing you've got to do is spend lots of time researching it, and understanding, everything as much as you can about it before you go into it.
Yeah. So, well, you must be doing something right, because you recently won an award, I believe.
Yes, we did.
So tell us a little bit about that award.
So that was a bit of a shock. It was great to be nominated, but it's the Corby Best Trades and Services Award.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously a local award. I think that we're up against roughly 12 different companies. Very surprised to come out on top, because for me it's my first year with the business. But yeah, very, very exciting and great, to be rewarded that way.
Yeah, it's a great achievement. It shows you're on the right path and going down the right direction.
Yeah.
Hopefully many more of them to come.
Yeah, I'll take that.
We shall see. So your business going forward, what are your plans for sort of the immediate future and a bit further down the line?
Probably won't give too much away.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think for me at the moment, I'm still in the it still is for me very much in the infancy. So, I'm still getting to grips with it, still learning a lot about the business and the small business arena. So I'm taking it slow. I don't want to rush into stuff. I don't want to take it too quickly. Be a company that will, triple in size in 5 years, and then suddenly, it just falls out the bottom. I don't want that. I'm after a bit of a slow burner.
Yeah, sustainability is important. At the end of the day, if this is what you want your life to be, then you need to really invest in it.
Yeah,
I mean, you probably know as well as I do. It takes a lot of time investment as well.
Yeah,
which a lot of people don't see.
No,
I think that people see all the nice side of it, and nobody sees what goes on behind the scenes, the late nights working, and getting up early and doing more tasks, and trying to balance your social life and your family life with that. It can be difficult.
Yeah, different stuff definitely takes a backseat. Social side, that's definitely dropped off over the last year, and I've been spending massive lot of time with my business. But at the end of the day, owning the business is very personal to me, and it's very important, and I want it to be a success. So I want to invest that time in it.
Yeah, same. So going into that again, then a little bit deeper, time management.
Yeah.
How do you sort of balance your time then with all these different, priorities being lumbered on you, I suppose?
Yeah. So I guess I learned a lot about that at British Gas. Having a big team, really focuses your mind on your tasks and what you've got to do. So I really try to block out time through the week. To do my proactive tasks, to do the positive building stuff. So I massively stick to my diary for my personal life as well as my professional life. I think that's key, and make sure that I'm doing what I want to do, or doing what I should be doing rather than necessarily what I want to do.
Yeah.
One of Stephen Covey's principles around occupational hobbies. I have to follow, because I know at times I think, do I really want to do that? And then at the end of the day, that's not the task that needs to be completed right then. So, it's important to do the right thing at the right time. Yeah,
I think that's crucial. I think I'm guilty of it. I just get dragged into stuff that I enjoy doing more than what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
So that's quite crucial. So with that in mind, then, do you set goals, clear goals, like short-term goals, long-term goals, to guide that diary, to guide where you're going with that?
Yeah, definitely. I guess there is a lot of our job, or my job, that is proactive, reactive to customers that come into it, because something can drop on your plate without you expecting it. But yeah, so I do, absolutely. I do set goals, and it's key to stick to them.
Say that
Try that one again, shall we?
Yeah, say that with a smile. Say that with a smile.
Yeah.
So I mean, goal-wise, do you think is valuable to set long-term goals, or do you think it's more important to stick with the short-term and the medium-term when you're starting? Or
no, I think it's important to have a long-term goal in the business. and then realise that what are those shorter term ones to achieve that. So I have a direction I want the business to go in. I have a lot that I want to achieve with it, and there will be, I'm also looking at the shorter term stuff of the first step to get there, what comes after that, because otherwise you'll end up with a stagnated business that you're just doing the same thing all the time, and you're never going to grow and achieve what you want to achieve.
I agree with that. I mean, personally, for me, I work with goals. I work backwards. So I work 3 year, 1 year, and 90-day goals.
Yeah.
And then I just see what my big goals are for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I work back, what do I need to achieve in 1 year to get where I'm going? And then the milestones in the 90 days that I need to achieve to get there in a year's time.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing that keeps me on track and reins me back in when I'm getting carried away.
Yeah, definitely. It's key. It is key.
Yeah, definitely. So what are the sort of challenges for aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs going to go into it? What would your advice be to them? Things to consider before they actually take that leap?
I think the big thing is understand, if you're buying a business, which is what I did, I think you need to understand 100% what that business is and how it goes about its business. So you can look from an outside perspective and think you understand it, but until you get into the detail of it, you're never going to know. You're never going to find out just by looking at the profit and loss accounts and the turnover, just to think, oh, that's how well that business performs. That's not necessarily a true reflection of the direction the business is going in and what you can achieve with that business over the coming years. So it's key to have a seller that's willing to give you all that information, willing to open up to you about it. And if you're not getting that, then I'd be worried about what business you're buying, because there's a reason why they're holding back. So research is huge. Like I said, I think I might have said, but I spent 2 years in the planning before I bought this business. And I wouldn't say it felt rushed, but it still feels like it was a quick time frame, so don't rush into it.
So that's what I was going to ask you next.
Yeah.
Is your view on systems and processes.
Mm-hmm.
So I know with my business, there was no real systems or processes in place when we started out, and that's a real bugbear of mine. I like everything to have a system and a process, something that you can repeat easily. So you bring staff in, they know what they want to do, what you're trying to achieve, and how to do that. Mm-hmm. So what's your view on that? Do you have systems and processes?
We do. We have a few. I think the one thing for me is when I started in the business was it's gone from one owner to now a partnership. And I think when he was on his own, he wasn't having to communicate with somebody else daily to discuss around how things are going with particular jobs. And then there was that not so much clarity over who was picking up certain tasks and how one job might go from the start to the finish. So yeah, we did put in some processes to structure that so that we know that where we start from and when we get to that point. Because the worst thing for us as a small sort of retailer, the key, and with all businesses, is the customer experience. And so you don't want something to fall down in that process. You want it to be and be able to replicate your best service for everybody. So I think process is good, but I guess for us it's still fairly open. It's a small business. But down the line, when I'm looking at growing, I will be definitely putting stuff in place, because as soon as you've got somebody new coming into a business, they don't know the history, they don't understand where it's come from. So it's key for them to get on board with it straight away and have a guideline to work to.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the way I look at it personally, I know a lot of people are reluctant to spend the time on it when they've got their business. They don't want to spend the time on creating systems and processes. They just want to do what their business does, work in their business, grafting day after day, doing these tasks. But then when you get a new member of staff in, you have to teach them how to do everything. Yeah. And then you get another one in, and then you have to do it again. And eventually you get that time back by creating them systems and processes. You'll get that time investment back tenfold, if you ask me, because if your business is to be successful over years and years, the amount of staff turnover, etc., and it's going to be a lot of time that you lose teaching people. And they may not get it if it's not clear, and they'll have nothing to refer back to, and it might take them longer to learn. Yeah. So I think systems and processes are really key in any business from the outset, really.
Well, you look at any large organisation, obviously I have experience in one, and not even necessarily a business, but they will have structures in place for when that does happen. And you're so right, the turnover in some businesses, you look at a company that has a high turnover, like McDonald's, for example, let's say, and their employees, they have a very structured approach to their recruitment process, their on-site process, and it gets someone going from, average Joe on the street to an employee very quickly that knows, the inside out of how that business should be working.
Yeah, I think it's a great example as well. McDonald's are the poster boy for systems. I mean, the way they have managed to take over the world, essentially, in the fast food department, employing mainly teenagers to come in who have no experience of work, who a lot of them don't even want to work, they just want the quick money. And yet they keep that customer experience consistent over every single brand in every single country, and they always deliver. And I think that is something we can all learn from and all follow.
Absolutely.
I don't think enough people do that at the moment. So we've just got 2 questions to finish off now, really. Would you ever want to go back to being an employee?
Okay. I'd never say never on that. You don't know what's around the corner, right? So, circumstances can change. But in reality, I really enjoy what I'm doing. It's been a great challenge. It's been really fun, but very rewarding as well. So, I really enjoy being a decision maker and running the business how I see it should be run. For some, that might be a bit of a responsibility. But for me, it's kind of exciting. It's the really, the great thing that I get from it is that the direction that business goes in is all on me. Yeah.
Probably similar for me, really. I'm a bit of an opinionated douchebag, so I kind of like being my own boss and making my own decisions and cutting my own shapes, doing all that kind of stuff. So I don't think I'd particularly want to go back. But you never know what opportunities are on the corner and what life may throw at you. So
absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of benefits for being an employee and working in a large organisation, and that's why there are so many, and why so many people stay in that way of life. So I totally wouldn't turn it down and say I'm never going to happen, because you just don't know. Yeah.
Right. So with given your success at the moment, let's talk about some of your strengths you bring to the table.
Okay, strengths. My biggest one is probably my communication skills. I think I'm a good communicator. People might tell me differently, but I am good at speaking to people. Not right this second, but I am. I'm a people person, right? So for me, I love engaging with people. I love going out there meeting new people. Regardless of who they are, it's just interesting, and I really enjoy that. So I think that's really important to anyone who owns a business. You might have seen in the past, you might see a business and you think, you must have got here purely on like hard graft and just doing that because, they might not be so personable, and people by people, it's a key thing for me.
Yeah, you see that quite a lot actually. Some people who are, I don't know, maybe don't want to deal with people or are not very good in social situations, but somehow they make it work, and more power to them. But I'm not sure personally how they do that. I think business is all about relationships for me personally, and I spend 90% of my time cultivating relationships and speaking to people.
Absolutely.
That's how I get by.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, when you're selling something to somebody, someone's buying a product from you, a product or a service, whatever it is, there's a person at the end making that decision, right? It's not
always.
It's not just come out of nowhere. Someone's giving you that money to take that service or product from you, so you have to get that person bought into you.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So we've talked about your strengths. Yeah. Everybody has them. So let's talk about your weaknesses.
Okay. Weaknesses. I think probably my biggest one would be that I'm a little risk averse. So at times I'll spend a little bit too long considering the options for something. That happens to me all the time, to be honest. So it's I think I see other people in businesses, right, and in the world, and they will suddenly just make a snap decision. And that's great. It's fantastic because it's that works for them. That's great. But I think for me, I guess being risk averse also helps me make sure it's a measured decision, and that at the end of that process, I'm more than likely going to be happy with what's come out of it, and less likely to regret what has. It is a weakness, but it's kind of like a good one for me, really.
Yeah, I think that's something that is situation dependent. I mean, each situation or opportunity that arises can be different, I suppose. And I mean, it can be a weakness in some particular instances, and in others it can be a strength, arguably, you know?
Yeah. But I do kind of, you see some people, I think I kind of mentioned it earlier, where a business will suddenly thrive for a few years, and then you don't hear of it again because it's dropped. And those guys generally, they're not risk averse, right? They're doing stuff and they're just seeing it in front of them and going for it. And I do admire that. I think that's a really strong personality trait to have. But I want a business that's sustainable and it grows and has a strong brand behind it, and it's honest, it's customer focused, and I think the way I'm doing at the moment hopefully will achieve that.
Good. Well, hopefully you do.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're just going to leave off for this last couple of things. So I'm a big reader. Big into books. I think they've helped me a lot with my business. So is there any books you would recommend to the viewers?
So I also enjoy reading a lot as well. I guess one book that I would always recommend to anybody is probably Legacy by James Kerr. It's a book about the All Blacks, basically, so rugby All Blacks, about what they can teach you in business and in life. You can take that, as a rugby coach as well, you can take a lot from that and learn about how you can change the way you achieve what you do. So definitely a great book. Yeah, anyone should read that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a fantastic book. Some really good insights in there about life in general.
Yeah,
really, really good. So that's it. That's all I have for you right now. Where can people get in touch with you if they need to get in touch with you?
So our website, MPB Kitchens, mpb-kitchens.co.uk. Things on there. We're also on Facebook as well, and growing some other social media platforms at this point. So either of those two, great.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for your time.
I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.